The most dangerous man speaks the least. What if I told you the most dangerous man in any room isn't the one raising his voice, throwing punches, or dominating the conversation? It's the man who doesn't flinch when questioned. The man who won't justify himself. The man who looks you in the eye and offers you no explanation. No defense. No emotional reaction. Not because he's weak. Not because he's guilty. But because he knows a fundamental truth of power. The moment you explain yourself, you shrink. Because in power games, the need to defend is already an admission of weakness. And the Machiavellian man understands this at the core of his being. Defense is an illusion, the trap of explanation. We're taught from childhood that when accused or misunderstood, the right thing to do is explain. You owe people clarity. Defend your name. Speak your truth. But this is emotional conditioning for the average man. Not the powerful man. In the eyes of power, defense is not noble. It's submission. Because to defend is to accept the accuser's frame. It says, your opinion matters enough to change my behavior. And just like that, you lose control. The fatal flaw in justifying yourself. Imagine someone accuses you of arrogance, manipulation, indifference. The weak response is immediate. That's not who I am. You've misunderstood me. Let me explain. Each sentence is a crack in your armor. Because the moment you seek to correct someone's perception, you've already bowed to their judgment. You've made their feelings your responsibility. You've handed them the steering wheel. Now, instead of leading, you're proving. Instead of being the frame, you're reacting to it. This is how powerful men are turned into emotional hostages. By trying to be understood, they become defined by the very people trying to control them. The power of strategic silence. The real power move is no move at all. When you refuse to explain, something remarkable happens. You create an unbreakable frame. A psychological fortress. You say nothing, and yet everything about you says, I owe you nothing. I am not on trial. You do not have the authority to question me. This isn't detachment. It's tactical clarity. Because silence forces your accuser to sit in their own discomfort. They wanted emotional leverage. Instead, they get stillness. And in that stillness, they unravel. Let them burn their energy while you stay still. Visualize this, a public confrontation. A comment that undercuts you. All eyes turn. The room expects defensiveness. A rebuttal. Some reaction. But instead, you give them presence. No facial shift. No breath change. No need to clarify. Now the attention shifts. Not to the accusation, but to your refusal to dignify it. People whisper. Why didn't he respond? What does he know that we don't? He seems even stronger now. This is how power is transferred, silently. You don't respond to the fire. You let it consume itself. The blade turned inward, the verbal reversal. Sometimes, silence alone isn't enough. There are moments when a sharp verbal counterstrike, not as defense but as inversion, leaves your attacker exposed. This is not about arguing. This is precision warfare. You're manipulative. That word gets thrown around a lot when people lose control. You're arrogant. Confidence makes insecure people uncomfortable. You're fake. Not everyone deserves access to the real. You didn't justify. You redirected. You've made them question their own lens. Now they're explaining. Now they're defensive. This is emotional judo, using their energy to throw them off balance. Real-world application, power in conversation. In business. A colleague sneers, I don't think that's a good idea. Most would explain, soften, try to sell. You pause, then calmly offer. All right. Let's hear your plan. Now they're performing. You're evaluating. You flipped the frame. In relationships, a partner says, "You've changed. You don't care." The emotional man rushes in to fix it. The powerful man simply says, "That's not how I see it." No chase. No emotional payment. Suddenly, the accuser feels the full weight of their assumption. Tactical disappearance, the nuclear option. Sometimes, the highest move is no move at all. Someone insults you. Betrays you. Smears your name. Don't defend. Don't react. Don't block. Don't reply. Don't flinch. Just vanish. Your silence becomes the echo chamber of their own chaos. They wanted a war. You gave them a mirror. And when they receive no emotional oxygen from you, they choke on their own narrative. That's not ghosting. That's tactical vanishing. You've sent a message that burns louder than words. You're not worth a response. Weaponize their accusation, frame flipping. The master never explains. He inverts. You're always in control. Does that make you feel out of control? You think you're above people. Only people who feel beneath me say that. You act perfect. Interesting what people project when they're unsure of themselves. No edge. No insult. Just cool delivery. They now look triggered. You look untouchable. Online strategy, narrative domination. In the digital arena, everyone's throwing bait. They want to suck you into an emotional battle. Into the algorithm's arena of attention. Resist it. Someone comments. You're toxic. Don't reply with defense. Drop this instead. People always say that when they lose control of you. Now the frame is yours. You didn't argue. You redefined the game. 3 weapons of the non-defensive warrior. Silence. The deadliest weapon. It breeds fear, respect, and speculation. Redirection. Shift the focus. Let them talk while you hold the room. Verbal precision. Cut once. Cut clean. Then walk away. Examples. You're fake. I don't owe anyone my authenticity. You're full of yourself. Confidence threatens the unsure. You think you're better. I think differently. Final form, the man who needs no defense. The man who never explains himself becomes myth. He becomes unpredictable. He becomes intimidating. He becomes free. He is not bound by social pressure. He is not swayed by gossip or doubt. Because he knows. The more you defend, the more guilt you imply. The less you speak, the more power you command. The silent throne. To sit on the silent throne is to reject the noise of the crowd. It's to say, you will not define me. You will not drag me into the dirt. Your misunderstanding is not my problem. It is emotional sovereignty. Philosophical self-respect. And spiritual stillness under fire. Aura is built in the fire. This discipline isn't born overnight. It's trained in the heat of emotional chaos. Every time you resist the urge to defend. Every time you let their words fall flat. Every time you let silence be your armor. You become something rare. A man who is not just powerful, but unreachable. People say, he's cold. He's mysterious. He doesn't react. And what they're really saying is, I can't shake him. That is the mark of presence. Closing the game, be the standard. The man who does not defend himself controls the interaction, shapes the room, defines the narrative, becomes the standard others measure against. He is calm in chaos. He is rooted in storms. He is the quiet in the middle of the noise. He doesn't win arguments. He renders them unnecessary. Because he doesn't need to be understood. He needs to be felt. Respected. Remembered. Final words, be the echo, not the noise. Let them shout. Let them misunderstand. Let them claw at your silence. You offer them no explanation. No entry. No reaction. No apology. Because you don't play by their rules. You define the game. And once you master this truth, you don't just win the war. You become the war. Without saying a word.